It's Gazzers Lambretta Journey Part 4.
Here we are back at 15 Kittiwake Close. It's now 1983 and there's going to be big changes for Gary and his love of Lambrettas. I sold my GP200, my lovely Punjabi scooter. I was missing it somewhat, but I still had my cut down, which also was now my daily ride to work and back. I had purchased this year one more Lambretta, an LI 150 I sprayed white and took it down the road because it was just a 150, didn't like it, and I sold it. So there I was, stuck with just my one Lambretta. And now the gang was starting to split up. Jamie this year, he decided to go up to Hull. He just up sticks, sold his scooter to Matty, and he left. And this is most probably the last picture of him with us up at the Blunderston Plough in early 1983. It might be late 1982. Also, John Sherman grew a gay tash to go with his ex-bike, and he got engaged and married, and we didn't see any more of him. Also, Phil sold his scooter to one of the Boulevard girls, Liz, after he'd had his sprayed a horrible poo chocolate brown, and here's a silly photograph of his poo brown scooter. Who would back then? So he bought a Morris Minor car, so he was gone. Who was going to be next? Well, that would be me. We got out of the skinhead scene because it got quite racist, and we were not into that. I grew my hair, as did Phil. This is most probably one of the last photographs of me and Phil down in Brixton, outside a pub because they wouldn't let us in because we were white. Oh yes, that was true, but that's another story another day. We were at a CND rally. We saw Hazel O'Connor, Madness, the new formed Style Council. All the groups had changed. The scene was different. The only constant was the Lambretta. Everything else had changed. So I decided, like the others, I sold my beloved cut down. That had gone. I'd sold it to Crisps. And I heard about 6 months later it just sat in someone's back garden after the throttle cable snapped, just rusting away. Anyway, I bought a Cortina Mark III. And funny enough, Gary Sharman, who's now a prominent mod in Alton Broad, his dad sprayed it. And so my journey had changed into something else. Crispy bought all my stuff. Everything had changed though. We'd all moved on, we'd grown up, we were all turning 20 years old. What an age, 20. And I had just joined another group of people called the Wild Bunch. And they were called the Wild Bunch for a reason. And there I met an old friend from my Skinner days, David Mars. And there the friendship continued through the scooter scene, but in a different form. Phil turned up once in around about 1986, and that was it. I didn't see any of the scooter crowd for a few years. But then, in 1990, it all changed again. So look out for episode 5. But right now, we go back to Gary's memories in 2024, and we're going to start again with Duncan and Gary's Sunday workshop and a few more memories and a few more silly shirts.
8 years ago.
Cool, Duncan and Gary's Sunday workshop.
Cool. Right. So here we are on Duncan and Gary's Sunday workshop. And Gary's not here. Yay! This is his engine. I'm just having a play with checking port timers and stuff. But
Duncan, I'm here.
Fuck.
Duncan.
Fuck.
Duncan, look.
Oh no.
Look, we're twins. You're wearing the pyjamas I bought you. Don't judge us. Don't judge us.
Whoops.
You know they were pyjama bottoms and tops.
That's a bit tight to sleep in.
I've got the same on. So here we are. Did you do the here we are on Duncan and Gary's Sunday workshop?
Sort of.
Yeah, it's only 9 o'clock in the morning. What have you been doing, Duncan?
Putting your engine together.
You have, hey. Tell them what it is. What is the engine? What is the engine?
Lambretta.
Well, of course it's a bloody Lambretta, you scruffy
Oh.
Herbert.
Small block. Imola 186, I think it is. Standard 58 107 crank. LI 150
Hang on.
box, which is good.
Before you, because you're wearing your scary and
Oh,
I'm
sorry, I can't say
think,
standard.
Hang on, click some music. Carry on.
Okay. It's actually not a standard crank, it's a Mercure. It's one of the original ones, which is a good one.
I did not know that.
Oh,
You
yeah,
didn't tell me.
Ah, well,
Cool.
not a cheap one. Anyway, LI 150 box. Put this in. Bit of an odd bit shimming it up, so I actually had to put a I had to put a 0.5 shim on the lay shaft before I installed it into the bearing, because I couldn't get it to fucking shim up properly.
Yeah, you're doing very well for a distracted
Yeah.
man behind you.
But now it's mid.
Right.
The shimming is 0.15, I think it is the shim.
So
You can go from 0.7 to 0.3 and weigh 0.15, which is fucking really good.
So, if I'd have done this myself, which I was going to do originally, I'd have fucked it up, wouldn't I? Purely because the shim was
wouldn't
wrong,
have known, yeah.
and I wouldn't have known until later. Basically, it's courses for horses. Oh, where the fuck that horse come from? So, anyway, what else have you been doing in Duncan and Gary Sunday Workshop today?
Well, no, I've got a bit more to show you. This is the original Imola shim. Shim. Fucking get the shims out. Who
They're
let the
shimming around.
Who let the shims out?
Yeah.
Sorry, that's
Who let the shims
Right.
out? Ooh.
it is original Imola reed, which I can see Gary through there, the daylight.
Well, I can see you through my lens.
Yeah, but I thought I'd be kind to Gary and give him V-Force 4. And if I take my socket out that I've been pissing around with,
Yes,
just
you
hold it
can.
up. Look. Oh.
Perfection, mate.
Just had to do a bit of
Perfection.
dremeling.
Yeah, you did.
And I've already
Dremel.
put the socket in just to hold the barrel up, because I'm going to silicon it up and put it together.
There's just one other thing.
Oh, fucking front wheel.
I'll get it because your knees are playing up. His knees still playing up. There you go. You don't have to bend over, mate. So this is a scooter. This is going on my GP. And it was messed up, the thread. Now, if you remember back in the old days, guys, we would just whack that through, wouldn't we? So the end had all beveled of it, and it's now smoothies. And it wasn't smooth before. And Duncan had this little gizmo initially that we used, and then he rethreaded it and
Now
done
it is
everything. And now it's all
beautiful,
good.
mate.
And I like that, beautiful, mate. Now, anyway, I just had a look in your fridge, and you've been drinking. You need to see Alcoholics Anonymous, because it's 9 in the morning. I noticed you've had 2 beers,
But look,
and you've lost some weight. You've lost some weight, mate. So that's it. That's it. Low carb bit. So that's it in Duncan and Gary Sunday Workshop, and we're nearly twins today. Except I'm the better looking one. Don't you ever forget that.
Alright, that's enough. That's enough. Fucking mobs.
watch out.
So I've had to go around Duncan's now, guys. I was talking in the last one about this. Do you remember back in the day, we'd whack a hammer on there, wouldn't we, Duncan, and knock it out? Well, the ends all just beveled over, so Duncan's just got a nice little repair kit to fix that. Now, while we're here, if you're wondering about the engine, I know you're not, but I am. I sort of figured courses for horses when it comes to the engine. Now I'm confident, but I didn't feel the confidence in me, if that makes sense, to build it. So in the end, I've got Duncan to have a play with it. So he's put a lay shaft and the gearbox in. Now Duncan, just explain the gearbox. I'd have screwed it up, wouldn't I?
It's an LI 150 box, great, really good box. But the problem was, in this casing, the lane shaft pulled down that far, the box was down too low. By the time you pull your tree up, the gears start to mesh. So I've actually put a 0.5 spacer on the lane shaft with this gearbox out of the bearing. Now it's fucking mint.
So basically I would have put it together as I think it would have come apart, and basically when we would have kicked it over it wouldn't have connected, the gears would have just, the Christmas tree and everything would have been out of sync. So folks, that's why horses for horses, listen to that voice in your head. So I'm letting Duncan build the engine. I think that's a better deal, because that's got to do about 5,000k ish on this engine once it's together. That's if we decide to leave it as it is. So he's got all the bits and pieces in there, and we're just fixing the Scoot RS. As I say, don't be ashamed to let someone else fix your scooter if they're more competent than you. And you can just sit there and drink their beer. Low carb.
Yeah.
Now I'm doing some editing. Yeah, I'm interrupting now. Mr. Bear and all that. There's a lot goes on in this editing. But listen. So I've still got the t-shirt as well. Now, with this memory, this goes back to my cut down that I got off Richard Tyrrell. It wasn't a cut down, that LI Series 2 that I cut down, and in 1982 it turned into this. So that was inspired by this song basically, and I had the t-shirt and I saw the group at the gala. It was probably one of the best gigs I'd ever been to. So Gary, whatever you're doing, you can get back to doing it now, and I'll get back to my editing, and I'll have my beer. Carry on, Gary. Hey people. Well, thanks Gary. Now talking about my t-shirt, I'm actually wearing the t-shirt I had when I was 19 years old. It sort of still fits. Now here's another one, another memory that I love. That was a bloody amazing gig. He was a complete knobhead. I did get to see him again in 2007, but this is 1982. And Max Splodge came on stage, right? He literally came on stage pissed as a bloody noob. 4-piece band, and he started singing a song. It didn't even get to 2 pints lager and a packet of crisps, please. He literally threw a pig's head on stage and said, "This is the local constabulary policeman," and everyone started kicking that around. And anyone that knows me, I'm predominantly a vegetarian, and I'm like, yeah. Even Phil and Crispy are like, yeah, that's a bit much. He sung half a song. He was so pissed he couldn't put the words together. The lead guitarist next to him got his guitar and smashed it in, literally smashed it up on stage and said, "You're fucked up another gig," and he left. And that was it. So we had the Outcasts on, and we had the Addicts, who were the top guys just as well. Addicts were okay. I can't really remember much about them. It was mainly about that. So the t-shirt, as I say, this was my beloved t-shirt for years. Even when I went self-employed metal polishing, I'd still see clients, you know, "Oh, hello," when my dad said, "I think you shouldn't actually be wearing that," because it says, "I hate," I don't know if you can see it, it says, I hate people on the back as well, while I'm trying to get work in. So I went through a few more memories. This is going to Richard. The Nomads, never worn it. I got so many of these. This is going to one of the former Broadsmen. He might be a Broadsman again, so I'm getting them packed up ready. I got so many that have never ever been used. I mean, they look brand spank new. So in my Lambretta journey, when I do this tour around New Zealand, there's a little bit of New Zealand. I am going to put them on eBay and sell a lot, and they can go all into charity. There's a couple I'm going to keep. Although it's got a scooter club, West Riding Scooters, but Easter 1982. I'm going to do a little separate funny on that one. Alright, I'm going to have a little, because I've got some good memories of that Easter rally. A lot happened there. Anyway, that's sort of it at the moment. Now, bear with me. I'm editing some of my stuff for my Lambretta journey. You couldn't make this stuff up. Matchbox, him. let's go and look at that photograph that's on my wall in my garage dash. But I was asked, this is true story, I was asked, hey, come over to Yarmouth, there's going to be a little, you know, teddy boys, and we're going to have a little rug. So me and Andrew Snell got in his little mini, well, his mum's little mini, and we went over to Great Yarmouth, which is about 8 mile, 9 mile, 10 mile away for us, and I can't believe it. And see them glasses? He had a pair of glasses on just like that, and we're outside this record store. We didn't know it was going to be him and all these supposed teddy boys, and literally I was standing with this other skinner and he went, they're coming, and his limo arrived, right? So his limo turned up, they got out, and I'm like, you get starstruck. Fucking hell, it's Matchbox. This massive skinhead went straight over to him and went whack. Fucking glasses split in two, fucking nose just went, and I'm like, he just hit the lead singer from Matchbox. I just couldn't believe it. And me and Andrew went into the record site, there's Andy Records or something like that, but it was in Great Yarmouth on a corner somewhere near the market, and I couldn't believe, when we were in there, we're like, when you see the photograph, they're all doing this. Fucking hated that shit. Yes, Matchbox.
Right, that's Matchbox number 38 discards.
Anyway, so they're in there and they're wanting to sign records from all the fans. There weren't no fans there. If you look at the photograph, it's all skinheads. What I didn't like was they were going, Seagull, fucking numbnuts, fucking brain dead. I know. But you can see us just at the back, look. You can just see us, and that's just like, fucking Jesus, man. And everyone was nicking records, I mean everyone, and there was just 2 police officers in the store, and I remember speaking to them, I can't remember what I was talking about, but I just remember them just walking off going, you know, and what a fun morning out that was. And we're going, me and Andrew in the car and back in his little mum's mini, the little orange mini, and I just thought, fuck, I love being in the scooter scene. It was just so funny. Really, that was a very, very funny morning out when we just thought we were going to get in a ruck with a few teddy boys, and it was the band, the Matchbox, of all bloody people. T-shirt from the early 80s. Why am I wearing it right now? Because I used this so many times in the 80s as a prop, and here's me with my old bestie Roy Bales. We grew up on the Burnt Hill estate together. He was a couple of streets down with me. Look, there you can see the trousers. There you are, and they're hanging up there. So, and there's a picture of me at Snetterton scooter racing, and there is the image, the patch. Also, I'm just going to briefly mention this, look, this mirror. This mirror has been on my prized possession. How it survived through the years, I have no idea. I got this in 1980, and as you can see, it's got the original 6 before Chaz Smash got involved, or Carl Smith, or Cathal as he's called now. What a prat. Cathal, someone or other, Joseph Borrell. So also I'm going to mention this. Why have I got this? So this is an interesting quick little story. Again, going back to Snetterton. We went to the races for the day, and a couple of these guys on Vespas came along. I think his name was Sean. Now, see that blue paint, right? That is because the guy hit me right in the back and pushed the frame into the back wheel. I had to literally prise it out as I prized my hands out of my pockets to give him a slap. No, I didn't. I was just too nice. I was too concerned about the scooter. So I kept the old original aluminium sign, and you can see there, look, it says Crisps of Lowestoft. So still got the sign. Well, here we are back again on my little board. Now, important people here realistically is Graham Gumby, obviously Crispy, John Shum with his gay tash. There's Phil with a little silly thing on his head. I'll explain that in a minute. Well, I forget his name. Right in the carvery, I think. There's me, obviously. They're the main ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's Matty and a couple others. That was taken at the Blunderston Plough. Most probably one of the last photographs taken up there, not the, but one of the last. We sort of split up somewhere later. We got out of the scene, but I'll just share this. Look, I did a little when we were skins. Play that now.
We live and die for Friday night.
So that's that t-shirt from 2000, so 24 years ago. But here's a photograph of me wearing that same t-shirt when I was 19-year-old at Skegness Scooter Rally, when I was 100% skinhead. And here's also the other picture of me. There's my boots taking a picture of my scooter. So I've got about 5 t-shirts I've kept. This one I did like. There's an interesting story attached to why I never got to go and see The Exploited, because I was seeing a skinhead girl at the time. She was from Norwich. All sorts of hassle, all sorts of things went down, and I didn't go because the word went out if I went I'd get my head kicked in by the Norwich Skins. Hey, happy days, eh? So that would be it. I'm not going to be able to do any more until I've done more on the scooter. The chances are the next thing you'll see is the engine put in, and that actually might be part of Duncan and Gary's Sunday workshop. But the memories, all of the stuff I've still got. I'll just share one more with you. Follow me. We'll get to the magnetos later on. That, funny enough, was on my bedroom wall. I haven't got a picture of it, but that was on my bedroom wall from 1980 to 1984, I believe. Yes, 1984. And if you imagine this wall in my bedroom, the other side was the workshop, realistically my dad's garage. So that hung on there. So you can see it was originally a Debbie Harry picture, and then it evolved as time went on. You got Bad Manners, even Toya Wilcox and a few other people, and it just went through the evolution of punk, the Blitz, Army Life, all that other stuff. I Hate People, of course, Up Your Bum with Peter and the Test Tube Babies. Blitz, saw them, funny enough. Blitz, I'll show some photos now. Me, Crispy Phil, and then a girlfriend, Tracy Merritt. We went in our Hillman Imp, which is another interesting story for another day, but it's not Lambretta, is it? But that was a bloody good gig that night, and they were awesome. We will finish right here, right now, as we do lead into, in the next video, the 1990s and a new era in my scooter days.
We live and die for Friday night. Off to the pally and have a fight. Dance to reggae most of the night. When we were skins,